What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I'm gonna answer the question I know everyone has been asking, and that is, what is the better electric car between the Tesla and the Porsche? And I want you to know that I've daily driven the Tesla Model 3 for the last 2 years. I've now also daily driven this Porsche Taycan for the last month and put on over 1,000 miles. And so I've gotten to see the ins and outs of both vehicles. And after watching this video, you're gonna know which one is going to give you the best bang for your buck and which one overall is the best daily driver. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, if you're like me, you've scoured the internet to do research on both the Taycan and the Tesla, and it's kind of hard to find a fair comparison between the two when I think a lot of people right now are wondering, should I go Tesla or should I go Porsche? Because they're both pretty similar price points for what you get. And so this video is going to break down all of it. I do want you to know that I have daily driven both of them long enough to have a good opinion on everything with these cars, and I'm gonna be very open and honest. And the truth is, if you are a Tesla fan, you're going to be frustrated by this video. However, if you're a Porsche fan, you're also going to be frustrated by this video because I truly believe both cars have a place. They both have major pros that the other one can't compete with. And so it really depends on what you're going to be using the vehicle for. So with all of that being said, all that I ask you to do is remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. And we're gonna go through every aspect of both of these cars as a daily driver and talk about some of the different uses you might have in mind, and so that you can decide which car is gonna be best for you. First off, we've got to take this car out and take a quick look at it. One of the main things that for me comes into play when spending this much on a vehicle is the look. And in my honest opinion, Tesla is leaps and bounds behind Porsche in their lines and the beauty of the vehicle. This car, and honestly for me, seeing pictures of it didn't do it justice, but when this is on the road next to a Tesla Model S, next to a Tesla Model 3, next to literally any Tesla, there's no comparison. This car is so much more beautiful. There's so much fine detail. So let's back it out and take a quick look. All right, before we show you the car, which is out here in the light, that kind of looks cool. I do want to build some rapport with the audience here. That sounds kind of funny, but I have the C8 Corvette, which I know a lot of people have seen on the road. I also have a Ferrari 458, which you don't see as often. Both of these cars are beautiful. The Ferrari by far, lines-wise, kills the C8, and the C8 has an incredible presence. I will tell you, when I got the Porsche, I was shocked because I did not think it would be in the same realm as these cars. But in my honest opinion, seeing them in person, if I had to say, you know what, this one caught my eye the most, it kills the C8, like presence on the road. The Porsche Taycan, in my opinion, kills it. And even the Ferrari, like, I know I'm gonna get flack for this, but I think this car is, I don't wanna say it, but it's very comparable to the Ferrari with how much I love the lines on the vehicle. And they're very different, and it's hard to compare that, but the look of the Porsche Taycan, in my opinion, especially in person, just blows the Tesla away and is very competitive with supercars, in my opinion. So if you look on just the front lines of this car and the attention to like the minor details, even in the light, in the lines, it just is such a gorgeous car. And I don't know how to describe it, but it's so beautiful from the exterior. Beautiful, I can't pronounce that. If you look back here, some of the little things, like even in this lighting, you can tell they've just put so much work into the minor details and the flow of the car and the look. And this is one of my biggest complaints with Tesla is they're cool cars, but you could misplace them for like a Toyota Corolla. Like the lines on a Tesla just do not compare to this car. And so that's the first place where the Porsche just destroys Tesla. The next thing, if you look inside, The interior, man, I just banged that. The interior of the Porsche, again, destroys Tesla. All of the minor details, just the screen, all of the seating, the seam lines, the screen layout in the front. It's just very simplistic, it's clean, it's aggressive. In driving this car, I will tell you, I have more confidence driving this car than any other car because of the interior. And I know, again, I'm gonna get a hard time when I have a Ferrari that I like driving, but that's a 2014 Ferrari. The interior of this car makes you feel incredible, where the interior of that car is like meh. You know, and so take a look. You've got to see like this screen across, the full screens. So if you sit down in here, you can see this broad screen. The screen goes all the way across. It's extremely clean. You've got screens in the front, screens in the back, and just the lines on the seating and everything else. It just is absolutely beautiful. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, Chandler, the Taycan should not be compared to the Tesla Model 3. Well, here's the deal. For my Tesla Model 3, I paid a little over $70,000. I was able to pick this up brand new for $135,000. I think MSRP, it's closer to $160,000. And this is the Turbo, which went the exact same speed as my Model 3. So when it comes to speed, you're paying a lot more for the Porsche than you are for Tesla, which I understand how people might be frustrated with me using this as a comparison because it is a more expensive car. So you should get a more luxury experience, and you do. So I'm gonna put the pricing up here. And what I would say is when it comes to speed, that is the one thing I always go to is like the 0 to 60, but there's so much more to a car than the 0 to 60. But when you're comparing the 0 to 60, yeah, price-wise, Tesla destroys the Porsche, which transitions into the next thing I want to talk about. All right, guys, I feel pretty dumb that I'm having to add this after, but the pricing difference between the Porsche and the Tesla, it's pretty astronomical, honestly. The cheapest Porsche that you can get is $90-something thousand. I'm gonna put a picture right here. The 0 to 60, the range, all of that is absolute garbage compared to the Tesla Model 3 Performance. And the Tesla Model 3 Performance you can pick up for in the $50,000 range. I didn't realize how much of a price difference there is. The price alone makes the Tesla a big win. So now I'm putting this in and spoiling the video a little bit, but I'm gonna show you, this is what you can pay for the Model 3 Performance with their little spec sheet. And then if you go up to the Model S Plaid, this is what you pay. Where when you compare that, you should probably compare the lowest Porsche to the Model 3 Performance, but the specs on that are atrocious. Like the 0 to 60 is way slower, the range is way shorter, and you're paying like double. But if you jump up to the Turbo, which does 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is the same as the Model 3 Performance, which is only $50,000, you're paying a lot. Here, I'll show you. This is the Turbo. This is the one I bought. And then if you go up to the fastest and longest range car that Porsche has, which is their Turbo S, you can see that comparing that to the Plaid, the specs are nowhere close. Like the Porsche specs are substantially lower.
How can I help you?
Oh, sorry. Porsche thinks I'm talking to it here. As I said earlier, the tech is but if you're going to buy the Porsche Turbo S and you compare that to the Plaid is faster. It has like double the range and you're paying a lot less. So I was a little off on my pricing. If you're in it for pricing, you should definitely get the Tesla. If you're in it for interior that's substantially cleaner than the Tesla, then you can pay double. When you compare the 0 to 60, you are spending a lot less and getting a lot more with Tesla. But when you compare the handling, there's a very obvious difference. With the Model 3s and the Model S's, they're very loud in the cabin of the Tesla, to the point where I would hear rocks. If you look out at my gravel road, you've got a lot of rocks and other things. These would pop up and you hear them inside the cabin of the Model 3 and the Model S. It's very loud, it's obnoxious, and it just feels and sounds very cheap. The other thing is bumps, hitting potholes, hitting any of that stuff in the Tesla, you feel it. You feel like you're in a go-kart that is kind of cheap some of the time when you hit these things. In this car, especially when you're in the comfort mode, it absorbs everything and it is a luxury experience. But then you can switch it and it drops the car down, it tightens up everything, and you can also have just a powerful experience on the road. When it comes to handling, hitting turns, doing all of those things, this car again destroys the Tesla. And I have been absolutely blown away by the handling, the experience, the feel, the upper level build that this car provides. So those are all of the good things about the Porsche. And here's the unfortunate part about this video is for what I want and what I need, by the time you get to the end of this video, you're gonna find that I will choose the Tesla over the Porsche. So if you're a Porsche fan, log out right now. And now I'm gonna cover all of the reasons that I think the Tesla is a better car. However, I'm going to keep my Porsche because my Porsche, because I absolutely love it and I love the experience that it provides. However, for a daily driver, I do believe the Tesla is a better car, and I'm gonna talk about why as we go into the next portion of this video. All right, Tesla fanboys, this one is for you, because now I'm gonna talk about why I believe the Tesla is actually the better car. Now, it gets tricky because I brought up the Model 3, I brought up the Model S. So I'm gonna try and answer this the best that I can, because there are multiple different models of the Porsche Taycan and there are a ton of models of Tesla, right? And so there's so many different things that you have to take into consideration. However, when it comes to going Tesla or going Porsche, I think that's pretty cut and dry, and you can see the different levels and what they provide in each. And so for me, my goal was to have a good daily driver that performs at a higher level and is a car that all around I love, that provides everything. And the reason that I think the Tesla is the best is because of all of the things Tesla has that literally no other electric car has or even comes close to competing with. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me compare a Tesla to any gas vehicle or just gas vehicles in general. And you know, there are lots of complaints that come anytime you get an electric car. I will tell you, had my Porsche been my first electric, or my Porsche, been my first electric car, I would be super pissed, way more pissed than I was with the Tesla. And I was really frustrated. I was frustrated with the range. I was frustrated with the charge time. I was frustrated with a lot of the tech and it being finicky and it freaking out sometimes. But the Porsche doesn't really have any tech. First of all, I get my charger in and it took me hours to get it set up, and it was stressful because I didn't know if I'd set it up the right way, because it wanted to know the ampage and the wattage and the whatever else on the car with my plug, and making that all work, and it tripped my breaker and I had to, anyways, long story, just setting it up was complicated, and there's literally no tech on the Porsche. When it comes to autopilot, when it comes to a lot of the other cool smart features that come with Tesla, with all of the little hidden eggs and the car parking itself and the car being able to drive from your phone and the security, and the list goes on and on and on and on. The tech is so much better with Tesla, like crazy better. And the unfortunate part is I didn't really recognize how much I used that tech until it was gone. Now, I'm sure I've really offended some Porsche people, and again, the handling, the performance, the look of the Porsche is incredible. And you're saying, well, Chandler, you're here to drive. It's about the experience. Like, you should enjoy driving the car that you spent this money on. You're right, and that's why I like owning both cars, and I'm very grateful I'm in a position where I can do that because I love the car. However, when it comes to finding a place to charge the Porsche, it sucks. When it comes to the range, it really, really sucks. When it comes to any form of tech to make your life easier that I actually ended up using a lot, it's just non-existent on those things. And the example I'll give you is on a daily basis, I've got, 20, 30-minute drive to work. And yeah, it's fun to drive. I live on a curvy road and I like driving that curvy road for the first 3 minutes, and it's really fun. And then I hit down twice and I'm in autopilot for the other 25 minutes where I can focus on doing a phone call, listening to the podcast, relaxing. And obviously you're still watching the road, but you're kind of not, because you have autopilot that is bomb with Tesla. It has the ability to do everything for you. And that one feature has absolutely blown my mind and spoiled me to where when I don't have it with the Porsche and I'm waiting in traffic, or I'm driving down the freeway, or heck, I'm even driving down, you know, a country road out in the middle of nowhere that has lines on the road so I can be on autopilot, I really love doing that. Especially for someone that likes to work out of their car and be on their phone, it's so convenient to pop it into autopilot so that you're not driving, you're not stressing, you're not having to worry about that. And again, it depends on what you want and what you need, but you combine that with all of the other tech and the fact that you've got a longer charge, the fact that you can go further, there's no real comparison. Because if you're someone that wants to do a 4-hour road trip and you're comparing the 260-mile range of the Porsche to the 400-mile range of the new Model S, or even more than that if you get the long range, or if we ever get the Cybertruck out, or if we ever get any of these other cars that Tesla's producing, even if those don't ever show up, it's okay because a 400-mile range makes a big difference. The other thing is it's not just the range, it's the fact that Tesla has easy places to charge all over. And with the tech, you get in, you plug in where you want to go. It pre-plans your trip. It tells you when to stop, tells you how much you'll have left. It does all of this math for you to make it super simple with your long range, where if you're in a Porsche and I'm driving long distance, I'm going to be tripping out. Because it sucks. You're doing the math, you're trying to find the charging stations, you're trying to figure out how you're gonna pull it off and what you're gonna do, and there aren't as many of them, so it's way more stressful. And so yes, I've complained about Tesla in the past, but when I compare Tesla to Porsche, on all of those things, there's no real comparison. And let's be real, 260 miles, that's good. But if you're going to spend $135,000, and I got a crazy deal. I mean, realistically, this car should have been $160,000, $170,000. If you're gonna spend that much on a car and then you can't take it on a 3-hour road trip because you're gonna be stressing, or you can't do a lot of the things you're gonna be able to do with Tesla because there aren't even charging stations there. Like I look in my area and I'm sorry, there just aren't charging stations. It's tight with Tesla, but with Porsche, just sucks. So when it comes down to Chandler, which one are you going to do? Here is my advice to a lot of you. I have loved the Porsche electric vehicle, but if you're wanting a daily driver that is still going to turn heads because it's absolutely incredible, at that price point, it's so worth it to go buy the Plaid. Because yeah, it's not as good of a looking car, but for everything else, it's so user-friendly, it's so easy, it's so efficient, it's just awesome. And that's why I'm absolutely ecstatic that my Plaid is getting in. Now, the other thing that I will say is if I could go back, I've loved my experience in the Porsche, but if I could right now, I would probably trade my car for a gas Porsche because that's what they're made for. They're made for the experience, they're made for the sound, they're made for being a Porsche that has gas, that kills it at performance, that you take out to the track, that you have an incredible experience. And so if you're looking for an electric vehicle that is bomb, that's gonna give you that 0 to 60 feel, but it's just gonna be your daily driver in your main car, there is no comparison. But if you're looking for an additional car that you're not gonna need for anything super productive, that you just wanna drive and experience, yes, the electric one's awesome, no complaints. But all of the benefits of the electric car can be found in the gas car that Porsche has been perfecting for a very, very long time. So don't be surprised if I end up trading in my electric Porsche for a gas one, because I'll tell you, I will always have a Porsche in my garage because wow, they're an incredible experience. But for a daily driver, if you're comparing it to a Tesla, I'm sorry, I've got to give the win to Tesla. So Tesla fanboys out there, please send a message to Elon and say, Elon, you know what? You're doing all the right things, but could you please make your car look a little bit cooler, because Chandler would really appreciate it. And with all of that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Thanks guys, have a great day.